Hey there, Libra. How's it going? Hope everything's going good with you and yours. Welcome to your week of April 18th, 2022. We're going to be looking at your past energy, your present, and your future as well. We're going to clarify all of those, tie everything off with an oracle card at the end of the video. It's the last little bit of advice. These are general readings, so all this may resonate, or some of it may, or none of it may. And if it doesn't, or parts of it don't, it's just not part of your message, or not your message, so don't worry about it. So that's always good. But if it does resonate with you, or parts of it are resonating with you, leave a like down below, leave a comment down below. Those are the best ways to let me and YouTube know you like what I do here. So let's see what we got for you. The card to keep an eye on this week is the Seven of Swords. It's a card of a lot of different things, as all the cards are. But the Seven of Swords really is a card about how you handle things. You can see in his hand he's holding these swords, and it's really saying like you need to be delicate about something. Just be careful how you handle certain situations in your life. It can also be a card of handling things before they get out of hand here too. There's this army that he's kind of stealing these soldiers from, or stealing these swords from. This is a long reading, a lot of energy getting sucked out of me here, but it can be a card. It's been a long day of readings, I should say, but it is a card of kind of handling things before they get out of hand in such a way that like he's taking those swords away from the army, so the army can't use them against him. Then they're like, well, we have no weapons to fight, like what do we do, right? So he's kind of trying to stop a problem before it becomes a problem. So I feel like that's maybe something to keep an eye on this week, maybe how you handle things, or maybe keeping an eye on how, or maybe trying to get things handled before they become problems, you know, kind of nipping things in the bud here. In your past, we got the Devil, we got the Star, and we got the Sun here. This is really great. I feel like you found something that's worth putting the time into, worth focusing on something. Maybe this is something that's brought you a lot of hope here with the Star, or something that, you know, has really brought you a lot of happiness with the Sun. Of course, the Sun is the happiest card in the deck. Everything coming up. Libra here in your life. The Devil can represent what you put on a pedestal, like what you, be careful what you value here with the Devil. Right, they're kind of chained to this, but you know, I feel like this isn't necessarily a bad thing, because the Devil can be a bad thing if you want it to be, like if you end up taking it that way. But with the Star and the Sun here, it just feels like this is something that you found that is worth worship. It's worth something that you want to put the time in. It's worth something dedicating yourself to at this time. The Star is also Aquarius's card, and the Devil is Capricorn's. So you may have one or both of those signs in your chart. And if you do, that's a nice little bonus, means you're coming in a strong way. But yeah, I just feel like this is just something that's worth putting the time into. This is something worth, you know, that's really brought you a lot of happiness here, and maybe something you've been trying to work on for a long time, or something you've really hoped would come along for you. Maybe you don't know exactly what it was, but it's something that, you know, you enjoy, or something that's bringing you a lot of enjoyment at this time. So let's take a look here, see what we got for you. All right, what do we have for clarifiers? The Three of Wands here. I feel like this is an opportunity that's kind of finally come in for you. Four of Pentacles, again, something you really idolize or worship, or something you feel is important. You can see he's got that pentacle held tight there. So yeah, I just feel like that's something, again, something you really value, something you don't want to let go of either. And the Hierophant here, that's Taurus's card. So same applies with the other two as we were talking about. But the Hierophant really talks about learning. It talks about kind of your knowledge and your kind of awareness being kind of growing and increasing here at this time. So I feel like maybe that's something you've put a lot of focus on. It maybe is like, that's the thing you've kind of really doubled down on, the thing you feel like this is bringing you a lot of happiness, is kind of increasing your awareness, increasing your knowledge, increasing your skills, improving you and your life in general here at this time. So that's great. That's looking awesome. So let's reaching out for cards that are already out here. In your present, we got the Queen of Wands, the Two of Pentacles, and the Magician here. Manifestation is really doing you some good here. You're not really getting a chance to move on with that Two of Pentacles, like you're kind of stuck. You can see he's got the infinity symbol here on his belt, which means you're kind of like stuck in a cycle. You're not able to move on here. But I feel like you're still manifesting your way out of it, right? Like you are happy and stuff, but you're trying to manifest more. You're trying to manifest like a way to improve things at this time. And with the Queen of Wands here too, just real confident energy, real sensual energy too, so that's good as well. Maybe with the devil back here, because the devil can talk about kind of enjoying your world and playing and having fun. So maybe that's kind of something you're trying to manifest at this time, is a little bit of, a little bit of that kind of action. So like, good on you. Good on you. I don't think I need to elaborate anymore on that. But yeah, it just feels like you're trying to get out of maybe getting stuck in a cycle, or trying to, maybe you encountered a bit of a jam here recently where you're like not improving, or things aren't, maybe your knowledge and such, like we were talking about here with the Hierophant, maybe that hasn't been improving or working in the way you want it to. But like you're working on getting out of it, right? Like it's not something where you're like, oh, it's a dead end. It's like, no, it's just a roadblock, right? So let's look at some clarifiers, see if we can get a little more detail on this. Clarify this up a bit. See what we got for our Libras here. All right. Queen of Wands again. Yeah, that's looking good. That confident, sensual energy we were talking about. Three of Pentacles, working with somebody here at this time. And the Six of Swords, moving out of a rough spot and into calm waters here. So yeah, you're heading in the right direction. Maybe you're just manifesting some help here to help you get out of the funk. Someone to kind of make a, another look at something, which makes sense too with that Queen of Wands too. She's got a sunflower in her hand here, and if you don't really know much about sunflowers, but they will always try to face the sun if they can, right? And the sun, of course, you have the sun back here, all this happiness. So they're trying to find positivity where they can. But sunflowers, when they can't find the sun, they will look at each other. So that's kind of saying, like, when you can't find happiness on your own, or you can't find a way out on your own, look for somebody to help you out. Look for a friend, right? Three of Pentacles, teamwork makes the dream work. Working with somebody together on something. And again, the Six of Swords, working out of a problem and into something new. Again, that Two of Pentacles, where you're in this kind of stagnant energy here, this kind of roadblock energy here. I just feel like you need to reach out. Maybe reach out to a Queen of Wands too in your life, so that, again, that confident, sensual kind of energy, someone like that who's really in that kind of growth, that personal growth, personal development kind of energy. Maybe reaching out to someone like that. Doesn't have to be a woman, could be any gender, it's just energy. Could very likely be a fire sign, so Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But again, could be any sign. But I feel like, yeah, reaching out to them, or, trying to reach out to anybody that'll kind of help you out, someone in that kind of an energy who wants to help you out. I feel like that's going to help a ton here. And again, I'm reaching for cards that are already on the table. We got the Ten of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Hangman. Yeah, a new perspective on things. Take a look at it a different way. Maybe you thought you had to do this yourself. There's no harm in asking for help. The Wheel of Fortune, you're making your own luck, forging your own path. Wheel of Fortune is a great card because it talks about you get what you give. And so if you give positive energy, the Wheel of Fortune will give you positive energy back. If you give it negative energy, it gives you negative energy back. And that's how people get stuck in cycles, right? Where you get stuck in a cycle of negativity, where you just keep feeding the wheel like bad energy, bad vibes, bad thoughts, all that kind of stuff. And it's like obviously we can't cut them out 100% because we're not like perfect beings or anything like that. But, when you feed it as much as you do feed it unintentionally, you can get stuck in a cycle. But I feel like you're churning things around. You're making the wheel work for you. That Ten of Swords is saying get those thoughts out of there. Cut them out as fast as possible. Don't dwell on things. Move forward here in a positive way. So don't feel like you're dumb or an idiot because, you're not catching on to something. You're not understanding something, whether it's at work or in life in general or love or whatever. It's like, ask someone else for help, and like, they're going to help you out. They're going to say, hey, you know what? Let's go. Let's do this. And then it's going to be like, all right, cool. And don't be sitting there like when they show you something, it's like, oh, it's so simple. Why was I so fucking stupid, right? Like, don't be like that. Like, it's just, you just didn't see something. You just didn't have the same perspective as them, right? You didn't see the same thing as them. They're already upside down, hanging, seeing it how everyone else does it or how they want to do it or their perspective on things. Grabbing wrong cards too. What's going on? I've done too many readings today. I think I'm all jumbled up here when it comes to the decks. But yeah, just saying, like, don't feel dumb because you make mistakes like I just did, right? Like, it happens, Don't be so hard on yourself, right? But let's see what we got for you here, Libra. What do we got? Nine of Wands. Yeah, open up. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to trust people. The Lovers. Maybe this is something to do with love. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it just could be something to do with love. Could be saying this person coming in that you're asking for help, maybe you don't know them, but they could be someone who is like a really strong connection. You're going to vibe with them really easily. Doesn't necessarily have to be love, but it can be that kind of a connection. It could be love, but it could be, you know, also just like a best friend, right? And the Two of Pentacles, again, I feel like you're going to be getting out of that energy. Again, we want to open up. We want to get away from the like closed off energy that Two of Pentacles presents. You want to open up to someone else, open up for help here. Let us see. And that's like, here with that Seven of Swords, maybe deal with this problem before it gets out of hand. And the Eight of Swords underneath, which is self-imposed restrictions. Yeah, just like before this becomes a problem, before you're like, oh, I'm stuck, and like, you know, let those negative energy creep in, let that negativity get it to you. Like, deal with it beforehand, ask for help, try to get out of it, do your best, right? Don't sit there and just bang your head off a wall being like, oh, jeez, I'm so dumb, right? Like, reach out. You know, people are willing to help. Sometimes you may not ask the right people, but people are willing to help. The Turkey Spirit, give with gratitude and grace. And you know what? The Turkey Spirit really talks about that. Like, of course, being generous with others, you know, giving with gratitude and grace, you know, when they ask for help, and just being like, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Like, you know, making sure they understand like what it means to you. But it also talks about being grateful to yourself too, right? Because I feel like too many people, and I was talking to one of the other signs, also had the Turkey Spirit today, but it's really a card of also being generous with yourself, because I feel like some people, myself included, we get too hard on ourselves. We say things like, oh, why didn't I get that? Or why didn't I understand this or something? But then when you deal with someone else and you're talking to them and they're like, oh, I didn't get that. I didn't understand that and whatever. You're like, oh, don't worry about it. You know, it's okay. You know, don't be so hard on yourself, whatever. But when the roles reversed, you're immediately like, oh, I'm so stupid. Like, why did this happen? You know, it's really saying like, you give yourself not just like time and patience, but the benefit of the doubt. You know, like you got to work hard on that kind of stuff. And you know, we're bad for it. I know I'm real bad for it, but I just feel like you need to kind of be kind to yourself, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't be afraid to, you know, be wrong every now and again, because, you know, we're only human. As they say, we make mistakes. So I hope this helped you out. I hope that resonated with you, Libra. If you want to help out the channel, leaving a like and subscribing to the channel and leaving a comment down below. I'll let YouTube know you like what I do here. You know, so check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign videos after this one too. See what might all be coming for you in the week ahead. And I will see you next time.